fired up in this video because I'm going to be sharing some of my AI workflows in hopes to help you get more clarity in your business, figuring out how much profit you're making per hour, figuring out what direction to take your business in. So I'm going to be sharing some of the data we have been implementing in our AI workflows to help give us more clarity, what to be selling, what to be picking up, and what to be leaving behind. So stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be providing a system on how you can start to apply this into your business. I don't think I've been more excited to share with you on what I've been doing in my business to really help optimize my Whatnot live stream business. So while this might not apply to people who sell on eBay or Poshmark, it's going to be giving you like some good framework on how you can use these tools in your current workflow and resale business. So I'm going to be giving you the point of view from my live stream resale business. So if you live stream in any capacity, these are some things that I found helpful to make some small tweaks in my business, kind of what products to focus on, and it's going to give you some more clarity in your business because there's just not a lot of tools available for people who live sell. As well as if you static sell, if you're selling on platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, I think for any business they should be doing this, but I'm going to give you some good helpful tips on how you could apply this in your workflow as well. So the three things that we're going to be touching on today are pretty simple, but they're going to give me a lot more clarity on kind of how I've moved my business. So we're going to be going over three charts. One of the charts is for our pre-owned business, taking some of our data from our pre-owned clothing live sales shows and kind of analyzing it and just seeing where we're at with that. The next we're going to analyze is a show that we did in July 10th of a Lululemon show, kind of profit per hour, how it all worked, and what that breakdown looked like. And then also we're going to be analyzing our best sellers for Lululemon in the month of May and products that we should focus on. So it's so exciting. I love stuff like this. And the reason why I love stuff like this is because numbers don't lie. It's the one thing that's going to give you the cold, hard facts on how you're doing in your business. If you're not tracking your numbers and you're a business owner, that's a scary thing. And I was there before. I was there, several years ago, not knowing, what's going on, pulling up the eBay dashboard and not knowing what things mean. It's really important to get clarity on what your numbers are, what they mean, and how you can move your business forward. So let's check this out. We're going to be going step by step on how I got these results. So let's just take a look, for example, at our pre-owned clothing business. So we started on Whatnot selling pre-owned clothing, men's and women's, and I wanted to analyze what should I sell, men's clothes or women's clothes. So I basically took and tracked in this spreadsheet here from April 14th all the way to mid-May, and I basically took all my cost of goods, how many units I bought, what was the cost, and then breaking that down so it gives a good idea of my actual cost of goods. So I put all that manually into a spreadsheet, and then I tracked shows from 429 to 520, and then I also just took the sales from each individual show and put it in the spreadsheet. So you can see we had a men's show, we had a women's show, men's show, women's show, and I just wanted to see what was giving me the highest profit per hour. And I know it's not a ton of data, but it did give me a lot more clarity on why the men's shows seem to be lagging behind the women's shows. And this is going to be different for everyone. This is just based on our audience we've built on Whatnot. And it basically gave me a great breakdown, just kind of like a sneak peek of what's going on. And I love this graph, very easy and simple to read. All I did was give it this data. That's it. So let's start from scratch and go into how I actually did this. So I use Claude. Claude, I think, is probably one of the best ones out there for reasoning and handling large amounts of data. It also has many other features we won't touch on here because it will go down the rabbit hole. I just want to make this clear and simple and easy for people to understand that are just getting going with AI. So Claude AI, and I've been using their paid plan, which is $20 a month, well worth it. And with that $20 a month plan, you can start projects. So these projects are all ideas We helped a person launch their horse arena business and give them more clarity on how to do that. There's a couple other startup ideas that I have in here as well. So you can see pre-owned clothing for Whatnot. I started my own project. And basically, when you click into this project, you're able to feed it a bunch of data. So basically creating like a knowledge base. So I took this and downloaded it as a PDF, and then I added it to the knowledge base. You could see here, I just downloaded or uploaded that spreadsheet into the knowledge base, and then I just created a new chat with this project. And all I asked it, here we could just go to the original document or original chat. I just asked it, can you create a graph between the men's show and the women's show? Which one performed better? And I just chatted with the data. And that's it. And it basically spit this graph out just a couple minutes later. Very clear, very helpful, very awesome to read. It also gives you some nice text here on the left-hand side. So let's just read through it. Women's shows performed significantly better. So women's shows had a 42% higher profit per hour, $78 profit per hour versus $54 profit per hour. 54% better profit margin, 13% higher average sale price, and 137% more total profit versus men's shows. Men's shows advantages were 22% more units sold per hour and faster inventory turnover. So the summary is men's shows moved inventory faster, women's shows were significantly more profitable. So they generated more than double the total profit, higher prices per item, better margins, superior profit per hour. And when you're looking at your business, I guess from a live streaming perspective, you want to be tracking units sold per hour, but not only that, profit per hour. If you're not tracking those two metrics and you don't know what you're making per hour, it's going to be very hard to manage your business and make decisions. So those are the two things that I track. And then if you were to do that on eBay or Poshmark or whatever, you want to track how many hours am I putting in per day, how many listings are going up per day, how much did I pay to list those items every day, like what was the cost. If you're listing 20 items a day and you pay $10 an item, that's $200 per day that's costing you to list those items, right? But how much profit are you making per day? How many are you selling per day? How many hours are you putting in per day? So you got to just really know your numbers and figure out, am I even making money? Another big box of consignment just came in, and I've had a few people ask me, oh, your links aren't working, and I don't know what to do. How can I sell you inventory? So we had actually temporarily paused the consignment program, but we just opened it up for about 5 to 10 more clients to take on. I'll put a link down below. If you have extra inventory, you're getting out of reselling, maybe you have a ton of inventory that you can't sell, or it's been on eBay for 10 years and you don't know what to do with it, click that consignment button down below and let's have a chat. So the cool thing is we just started to track this data probably back in April. So it gave us a lot more clarity on what we were doing. And we recently stopped selling pre-owned clothing, at least buying wholesale. If you've been following the channel for a while, and I'll show you why that is, but really cool. Just, it is so cool to be alive. Am I the only one that's a nerd like this and loves to look at the numbers? I don't know. I love this, y'all. This is really helpful and gives me much more confidence and clarity on what to even do. So that's why I want to share this with you. So yeah, really cool clarity. I like graphs. I like charts. I'm a visual learner. You can see here women's shows just had a 42% profit per hour and better margins. So it just gives you a little comparison. I know it's not a ton of data to give it, but I just wanted to make this video for you just to give you some good clarity that obviously women's shows performed better than men's shows. And I noticed that. I just saw that, things weren't getting bid up as much, and so that's really cool, really love that. So that's cool. So that's for our pre-owned clothing business. Gives us a little insight. Basically, just gave it this data and chatted with it. It's been amazing. You don't need to have the paid plan if you are doing this. You can definitely just use the free plan when it comes to using Claude AI, and you would just basically upload any Excel documents, spreadsheets, CSV files. So if you're using eBay, download your monthly data, upload it, and then just chat with it. So that can be pretty helpful to give you some more clarity. So that's the pre-owned. So next we're going to be analyzing a show that we did on July 10th for our Lululemon business. Want to give you a sneak peek on what's going on. And this is one of the reasons why we track this data, because we want to focus on our time. Our time is so important. It's the most important asset and currency that exists, is your time. So we want to make sure that we're not spending our time on $70 to $80 per hour activities, but spending our time on higher income producing activities, which is why we've switched over to selling new with tags Lululemon. Yes, we're paying substantially more for Lululemon to resell it, right? Our average cost of goods hovers between $28 to $33 per unit when it comes to buying Lululemon. But the cool thing is that our profit per sale is significantly higher. So you can see here on July 10th, 31.43 was our average cost per unit on that show. You can see our average sale price after fees was $38.97 per sale, giving us a $7.53 average profit per item, just below our target of 20. We're trying to target at least 25% profit, but we made a 19.3% profit margin, selling 33.2 units per hour. This was a 3-hour show, 3 hours, 50-minute show, 127 units sold, almost 5,000 in sales. The profit per hour averaged around $250 profit per hour. So really cool. You can see sale price with the cost and then the profit. Like I said, I'm a very visual learner. And that's what it gives you. It gives you key performance highlights. Exceptional show performance, one of your strongest recent shows. Healthy profit margin. Efficient 33 units sold per hour. Strong pricing strategy. Generated $957 profit in 4 hours. So very cool, very cool. All inventory from June 27th purchase, excellent turnover. It also gives you a lot more data on the left-hand side. So just gives you like a full breakdown if you're just wanting to look into the numbers. So really cool, really cool. I love this. And how I did that is I track everything in the business, every single little thing in the business. And when we first started, I didn't. We've been on Whatnot for a year now, and I never used to do this. So it just brought me a lot more clarity on what to do and how to go about it. So now we want to know, where did that data come from? I track everything, every single purchase, every single show that we do with Lululemon. So I'm able to see what's going on, what's the profit, how's it looking. And it's very important to track your hours that you're doing per show. Like how many hours. If you're not tracking how many hours it's taking you either to list on eBay or to do Poshmark or to do Whatnot, it's going to be very hard for you to figure out how much money you're making per hour. So that's pretty cool. Just basically uploaded that just like I did. I have a projects tab with Lululemon, and all I do is basically go into my projects tab. I go to my resale business. All of the data here is fed into the product knowledge, where I can just click plus and add in anything. I give it even insight into who we are. Like I add as much data as I can into this knowledge base so I could keep chatting with it. You can see I have multiple chats open, and it's been really helpful to be able to just track things in my business and just to provide more clarity. So that was really cool. You can go through month by month, week by week, show by show, and just give some good idea of what's going on in the business. So that's really cool. I love that. Another awesome thing is to I'll just show the charts here first, is that I have a VA that I pay like $5 an hour to watch our shows. That's why I stream them to YouTube, is because I could have the VA watch the replay, and she basically just tracks everything that sells in the show. So you can see here I have all of May, June, July, all the tracking here of what items sold in that specific show and what they sold for. And basically, by doing that, I'm able to know what are my best sellers in my Lululemon business. I have her track the color, the size. Those two things are important when it comes to Lululemon. I think us as well as other brands too, but I know what colors I should be picking up and what colors didn't sell as well. So basically that gives me a great chart here that I just love. And I basically just asked, what are some of my best sellers for Lululemon and what should I be focusing on buying? Can you put it in a graph along with their average sale price? So same thing under the Lululemon project tab, I had it just create a simple graph here. This is based on sales data from May, in May of this year. So it took all of the sales data from all the shows that we've tracked in May, and then it just put it into a nice little easy to read graph. So you can see here Pace Breaker shorts were our best sellers, Hottie Hots, Align tanks, Pace Rivals, dual pouch wristlets, defined jackets. It says high volume winners, buy more of these, Pace Breaker shorts, Hottie Hot shorts, Align tank tops, dual pouch wristlets, Pace Rival products. It says premium performers, which were our highest margin items, were Align dresses, defined jackets, glow up leggings, matching sets, and scuba hoodies. Focus categories, women's shorts, which equaled 60% of the top sellers, athletic tanks, bras, activewear dresses. Key insights. Shorts dominate the sales volume, obviously, because we're in the middle of summer, but it's just really cool to get this clarity. You got to be clear when you're running a business as an entrepreneur. You got to know your numbers, and if you don't, it's going to be really difficult to make money. I mean, can you survive and make money? Yes, absolutely. You could probably do pretty well not tracking your numbers. But then it gets to a point then you want to grow or you want to focus and niche down. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to make decisions. And with the world changing every day like crazy, you're going to need to be able to be on a swivel. You got to be able to pivot, right? So this is cool. I love this. I'll put a link down below to our free community where you could just check it out. We do AI video calls, we do AI Q&A. So if you're looking to integrate AI into your business, jump on over to our free community. We'd love to help you out. But I thought this was just so cool to just take some data, interact with it, and chat with it. Comment down below, what do you think about this whole thing? We're living in a different world compared to just this time last year. So my whole goal going back to it is just tracking our journey with our resale business and also to be able to help you on the other end, do maybe some of the things that we're implementing. So yeah, just let me know, comments down below, feedback. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.